In this documentary series, we've been granted unprecedented access by some of Australia's leading thoroughbred stud farms to document their foal's journey from birth through to becoming a racehorse. We will be documenting the formative stages of a select group of foals and their dams with the people involved who raise, care, and educate our racehorses. You will witness the precious early stages of a foal's life as they take their first breath, first steps, and their development over an 18-month period to becoming a thoroughbred racehorse. In this episode, we accompany the Australian thoroughbred auction houses of Magic Millions and William Inglis as they inspect nearly 10,000 yearlings entered by the stud farms for their 2023 sales season. We'll revisit our 4 foals featured in the series as they are inspected on farm around the Hunter Valley of Australia. You'll gain an understanding of how each auction house meticulously assesses the yearlings over a 6-month period and their processes adopted as they vie for the opportunity to be entrusted to sell the farm's yearlings at their 2023 sales. It's late 2022 in the Hunter Valley of Australia. The initial inspection has commenced by the auction houses to assess the yearlings entered for next year's sales. Magic Millions is best known for its showcase Gold Coast yearling sale each January. However, Magic Millions operates its thoroughbred auction house all year round, conducting sales in 4 states of Australia. Every year, Magic Millions catalogues close to 3,000 yearlings across the 7 sales that comprise its yearling sale series. Bloodstock manager Dane Robinson walks us through the initial inspection process.
So my name's Dane Robinson. I work for Magic Millions as the bloodstock manager, and it's my role at Magic Millions to catalogue the sales, the live sales and the online sales for Magic Millions, but also search for and find the best stock available to bring to the market. So the inspection process commenced in late July, early August. We had Barry Bowditch head over to New Zealand, and with Steve Davis they kicked off the initial inspections down there, getting through a lot of the New Zealand farms. To see which ones might be suitable to come to our Magic Millions January yearling sale on the Gold Coast. But from there, it's been a steady progress throughout Queensland, now New South Wales. We've just finished up in the Hunter Valley. This is middle August now, and then we've also gone through South Australia and Victoria as well in the lead up to that. So normally end of July and then through all the way to August, and we'll keep looking through horses through till September before we really start to crunch down on cataloguing for the sale. So when we go to the farms, the process very much is seeing the horses in their own environment, seeing the horses and discussing with the vendors which ones we feel will be most marketable at a January live sale or a live sale throughout the rest of the Magic Millions calendar. It's very much dotting the I's and crossing the T's to make sure they're the horses that not only we believe in, are going to be the ones that obviously will sell well for the vendors, but also the horses that will go on to be racetrack stars as well. So I guess from our perspective, it's dotting the I's and crossing the T's. We're looking to see horses that are obviously forward enough to be at the January live sale, but then also horses that are obviously going to kick on and go well on the track too. So it's a bit of a process. It does take some time, but we like to spend as much time as we need to at each farm to really ensure that we're getting a good grasp of the horses and having that discussion with the vendors as to which ones they feel are also very suitable, because at the end of the day, they know the horses better than we're ever going to know these horses. We get to spend a few minutes with them and they get to spend their entire lifetime with them, so up to this point. So it's just a discussion that we have We make sure we inspect them thoroughly. We have a good discussion with the vendors and the farms to get the, hopefully make the right choice and the best choice possible.
Why do farms entrust Magic Millions to sell their bloodstock?
Well, I think you have to respect the farms that these horses come off first and foremost. Obviously, there are some outstanding breeders out there, have outstanding records, which has to be taken into consideration when you're considering the end product of not only a marketable horse, but also a horse that's going to go on and do really well on the track. So it's always really well considered, and I think obviously there are young vendors coming through now as well, which we have to give respect to and give them a chance to as well. So I think overall we give a lot of respect to where these horses are coming from, and that's why it's so nice to get out into the farms and see the environment that the horses are coming from and how they've been raised.
What is the Magic Millions ethos?
But I think the ethos that we have, that I take into it, is very much that the vendors know the horses better than what we do, and we need to have those discussions. As much as we have our opinion on what we think is going to work and what is going to be marketable, we need to have those honest conversations and genuine discussions as to with the vendors as to what they think will also sell really well too. So very much it's a two-way process. It's a two-way street, this in every way, shape and form. And overall, I think we get it right more often than we get it wrong.
What does Dane and the team look for when assessing yearlings?
What I like to see in a good horse is just a nice, balanced, athletic individual. I think athleticism is really key for what we're looking for. Obviously, for a January live sale, we're looking for something that's strong and forward, a lot of girth, correct in front, and just a nice overall balanced athlete is what we're looking for. It's not a case of that we're looking to pull apart horses. We're just looking to see what is going to be marketable and what I think, if I was shortlisting for someone, what I would put on the shortlist. So, nice balanced athlete overall. Nice sharp pedigree there as well, with a couple of 2-year-old winners there up the top of the page, I think was very important. But I think overall we probably emphasise physical touch more than pedigree, but not by much, because I think people go to January expecting to see nice physicals.
Why do multiple members of the Magic Millions team inspect the same yearlings on farm?
Well, we like to get different eyes on these horses, because we know that it's an opinions game, this, and everyone has their own opinion, and everyone has an opinion as to what they like in a horse individually. And so having one person look at a horse doesn't give a broad spectrum of what a large market of people would like to see. So I think that getting more eyes on individual horses is really key to give us that spectrum of who likes what. And then obviously sometimes we won't marry up on the same horses, but it's nice to sort of see who likes what, and also what might still be appealing to some people, might not be appealing to others. So we can obviously marry that up a little bit when we're making our decisions in terms of cataloguing for the sale.
Why would a buyer visit a Magic Millions sale to buy?
I've been fortunate to be on both sides of the fence here, from the buying and the selling sort of, now working for a sales company as well. But I think what the Magic Millions does so well is just creating the live atmosphere, creating that audience, creating the market, the buzz, the feel. It's everything. You go up there and you want to put a few extra bids in because you've got your owners there, you've got your people there, and you just want to get involved. So I think being in January on the Gold Coast, there's no better place for it in terms of creating the market. The atmosphere is really key, and I genuinely believe there's no better place in the world that does it better than Magic Millions.
The brutal Gymnast colt we first met as a 60-day-year-old foal at Newgate Farm will enter the ring on day one of the sale as lot number 4. The colt is the first yearling catalogue to sell for Newgate Farm for 2023 and is the first yearling by the sire Brutal to be sold through the ring. Later in the catalogue on day 3, the Written Tycoon Total Attraction colt will also enter the ring as lot 495 for Sedgenho stud. The auction houses Magic Millions and Inglis share similar processes of visiting thousands of properties during the on-farm stage before reviewing these horses again at their offices. The companies accommodate the selling bench by hosting sales across 6 states of Australia from January through to October, plus fortnightly online bloodstock sales. Inglis stages a busy schedule of thoroughbred auctions during the year, covering all aspects of the breeding and racing industry. The Australian Easter Yearling Sale, conducted at Riverside every Easter, is the flagship event on the Inglis calendar, attracting some of the finest young thoroughbreds in the Southern Hemisphere. Inglis's New South Wales bloodstock manager Chris Russell talks about how Australia's oldest thoroughbred auctioneer assists with selling the next generation of racehorses.
Yep, my name is Chris Russell and I'm the New South Wales Bloodstock Manager here at Inglis. So Inglis has been going now for a little over 150 years. We were established in 1867. We've had various bases. We're now based out here at Warwick Farm at our new Riverside stables. It's a great purpose-built complex. We've got a 150 odd room hotel here as well. Prior to that we were at Newmarket, and we also spent some time in the city as well. My responsibilities and role here at Inglis, between myself, Sebastian Hutch, our CEO of Bloodstock, Jonathan Darcy and James Price, who's the Victorian Bloodstock Manager, we're basically in charge of steering the ship with the Bloodstock team, putting the catalogues together, putting together all the sales, recruiting the buyers, basically just steering the team around and running the sales that Inglis puts on.
Why are yearlings traditionally sold at auction?
Yearlings traditionally sold in Australia. It's we're very commercially minded here in Australia. The big farms, always send majority of the time send their best to the sales to sell. That's very different to what would be comparable in the UK, for example. So it's just become ingrained in our industry over here to sell their best as yearlings. It's starting to branch out now to our horses in our 2-year-old sales, and also end users are buying as weanlings. But it's always been, the main focus has been yearlings here in Australia. Physical sales between Oaklands Junction in Melbourne and Riverside Stables here in Sydney, we'd hold around a dozen. That of course ranges from the yearlings earlier in the year to our breeding stock sales, our foals, weanlings through the middle of the year, and then we've got our 2-year-old ready to race sale, which is the most recent sale we've just held in October.
With the on-farm inspections conducted, what is the process now that team are back in the office?
Look, our official entries close early August. A lot of work's done prior to that. We try and get on farms a couple of times a year. We'll see them as foals and again as weanlings. As soon as our yearling sales are pretty much done for the year, then we'll get back on the road and look at them then. So whilst the entries do shut early August, we've done a lot of looking before then, advising what horses should be sold as weanlings, what should be carried over as yearlings. So it's a year-long process. The cycle sort of never ends, but obviously the real heavy lifting starts in August. The amount of farms we would see from when our inspection period starts in August through to when we send our first catalogue to print in late October would be close to 200. We'd inspect in every state in Australia except Northern Territory. So we travel far and wide. They can range from a mum and dad breeder with 1 yearling to going to certain properties. Widden, for example, the guys did close to 300 in a day this year. So it varies day to day, property to property, but it's a lot of good fun. The amount of yearlings we'll catalogue will be probably a tick over 2,500. That's obviously between our major sales at the start of the year, Classic, Premier and Easter, and then our sales, our HTBA sale and our Melbourne Gold sale in Melbourne. So about 2,500, I'd say.
How do you rate and compare the yearlings?
So rating of the stock, we try and see them more than once a year. Obviously with such a busy sales season, it's not always possible. But we try and see them a couple of times a year. Basically, once we've seen them in the final inspection period from August through to sort of late September, early October, we rate them all by pedigree and we give them a type score as well. So the type scores are done in the paddock And then after that, we come down, we sit down that night, go through all the pedigrees, and then give them a pedigree score. And that gives us a rough threshold of what sale we think they'd be better for. And then it's a matter of sitting down as a team once we've done all of that, and then crunching the numbers, you know, how many we can take for the sale, how many for what by each stallion we'd like, you know, what stallions are on the improve that we'd like to chase more of, we chase those. So, you know, obviously a colt like the I'm Invincible, the pedigree doesn't get rated higher, and he was a very, very good sort, so Easter was the natural spot for him.
How important is it for Chris and the Inglis team to communicate with the selling vendors?
Yeah, as mentioned, look, we try and see the stock a couple of times a year. It's important to see them before weanling, so we can advise if something would be better sold as a weanling. And that also gives us an overview, seeing them early, as to what are the horses we really want to target, the nice horses. It's obviously, as nice as it'd be, it's not as easy of walking into a paddock and saying we'll have A, B and C. You know, there's fierce competition both within Australia and New Zealand for the really nice yearlings. So yeah, we try and see everything on the farm, get a real guide as to what's out there, and then we chase hard on the yearlings that we'd like, you know, pitch why our sales would be better. After we visit a farm, we'd send them a written report of what we think, yeah, a bit of a comment what we thought on type-wise, our advice sale-wise, where we think they'd be best placed. Look, we like to collaborate with the stud owners, the managers, as much as possible. They know their stock better than us, and as much as we can, we like to collaborate with them, you know, work as a team pretty much, because if they win, we win.
How will Inglis promote the yearlings and their sales?
Yeah, the promotion, look, it's really a year-round exercise for us. I think we're at a real advantage being located in Sydney and Melbourne. We've got access to all the trainers and owners that are based down here at the races week in, week out. Our best form of advertising is the catalogue, so once it's in hand, it's great to go out and see all the clients and, you know, show them what we've got upcoming to sell, and what's available to them. You know, probably through our Inglis digital platform, our Sale Day Live, where we beam it all over the world, we stream it, you know, we get people tuning in from all over the world, so that's great advertisement for us about what we do. And the Inglis digital has made it so accessible for people to get involved now with stock. You know, we've had a lot of clients go over to the physical side sales as opposed to the digital. It sort of breaks down a few barriers for them. It's a good place for them to start, and then they go onwards from there. So yeah, the promotion's year round, but something we do great here at Inglis. You know, we've got a great marketing team, you know, plenty of print media, all that sort of thing. So,
What is your point of difference to the other global auction houses?
I think in Australia we're a lot more interactive with the client. You know, we know our buy and betch in depth, and I'm not sure if that's the same, you know, worldwide. We interact with them as much as possible. I think through the auction process, we help our clients, you know, whether it be buying or selling, as much as we can. You know, we give credit terms to a lot of trainers, you know, so they can come and spec horses and you know, then take it to their clients to on-sell it, as opposed to auction houses in another part of the world where they make you pay within 2 weeks. So all those sort of things, I think we do, you know, a lot more with the client than what they do in other auction houses throughout the world.
The other 2 foals featured as part of the Paddock to Post series are entered for the Inglis Easter yearling sale, due to be held in early April. The I Am Invincible Serene Majesty colt, bred at Kitchwin Hills, and the capitalist Dahul colt, born at Torryburn Stud, are targeted for this sale.
He's a nice colt. He's a bit of a later foal. I think he's a late October foal. So I've probably seen him 3 or 4 times now through his life, and every time my comment's been improving. You know, he's just going to keep getting better and better with time. He's from a family that doesn't have a lot of 2-year-old form in it, so you know, it looks like it just takes that little bit more time to mature. But again, you know, come early April, he's going to be cherry ripe. He'll be a very nice colt and well sought after. Yeah, the colt at Kitchwin Hills, the I'm Invincible out of Serene Majesty, is a very, very nice colt. I think I saw him up there in about September with Brett Gilding and Jonathan Darcy. Typical I'm Invincible, nice correct colt, great depth of girth, good length to him, probably more length and scope than most of the I'm Invincibles have, I think. So pedigree probably dictates him to go to Easter. I mean, his mother was sold at Easter. I think she made 400,000, Fastnet Rock mare, Group 3 winner. She was a lovely sort, and she's thrown that into this, and great combination with Vinny. So really nice horse, should sell well.
Would these yearlings attract the highest sale value at Inglis's flagship sale?
What would he go to Easter? I think he would be a sort of horse that, you know, the colt syndicates look for. He's just such a high-profile colt. You can see him making better than sale average at Easter time. So when you're thinking those kind of dollars, all the buyers who are willing to spend that are at Easter, so that's the logical place for him. So with the Easter catalogue, obviously it's the later of our 3 majors. So Classic's just gone to print. Melbourne, we're in the process of finalising it now, and then all eyes will all switch to the Easter sale. So we'll have that close to finalised at the end of the year and get it ready to print next year.
In the next few episodes of the Paddock to Post series, we'll revisit the now yearlings as they are educated and prepared by the farms ahead of the 2023 yearling sales.